just walking out here on the racetrack before we begin tonight. It's really wet to start tonight. So here at Red Bluff, they have the box stock division, which is one of the kids' classes, pack the racetrack. And tonight they were all crashing and spinning out and stuff because they had so much water on the surface. Definitely this weekend the tracks had more moisture than the rest of the year, so we'll see how that kind of plays out as we go through tonight. It is the Gary Jacobs Memorial, and this is a race that I definitely want to win with factory QRC and the 18T. So we're going to give it our best effort, and it all kind of starts early in the night with qualifying. So we'll see how the racetrack progresses though. Right now, as I mentioned, it's pretty soupy out here around the Red Bluff Outlaws, but we'll be getting suited up here in just a little bit and bring you along for the night. So we're heading out for qualifying next. This is an important part of your night and kind of sets your stage here at the Red Bluff Outlaws for every show they run throughout the winter season. Our goal is to go out and lay down the best time that we can. As I mentioned, the track has a lot of grip. It's starting to kind of get wore in, so I think that we should be looking good. We're kind of going out right in the middle of the pack. We got over 40 cars, so plenty of good competition. And like I said, we need to start our night off on the right foot, test out our race car, make adjustments from there, and get ready for the heat race and features later. Just made my first laps of the day. I feel like I need to go to the chiropractor. They worked the track obviously after racing yesterday, and it has max grip like I talked about, but it's also really rough, like maybe the roughest I've ever qualified in all my years of racing here. I'm surprised. Right now we're fourth quick out of about half the cars that went, about 20-25 cars. I thought I was going to be way in the back because all my laps literally felt like junk. I couldn't believe it when my dad got third quick and they made me scale and everything. Man, I just bouncing around so bad, mainly in 3 and 4. 1 and 2's not terrible. I got through that corner good, but 3 and 4, man, like there's no smooth way. You just got to try to go through the bumps straight, I think, and then drive off straight. I don't know. I'm not as always great at attacking rough. I always just try to be smoother through it. That's always my strategy, and I feel like that's the way to go right now because I tried to send it in there, and then I almost about crashed. So anyway, I don't know. Hopefully it smoothens out a little bit. Hopefully we should be in a good spot to be in the inversion tonight. So we did our job, did what we could do. We'll see how things pan out now moving forward. So here's an up-close look at some of the rough areas on the racetrack, and I wanted to show you this because you need to be reminded that Outlaw karts do not have suspension, no shocks, no torsion bars, nothing. So, you know, any rough surface can be a crazy ride for the guy behind the wheel. But anyway, we ended up holding on to fourth quick. We're now rolling into the heat race where we have to run in the top 2 to transfer to tonight's main event.
Together as Trace Adams leads him out of collision education restarts in.
Good restart for Caldwell. Holmes goes to the bottom to protect. Caldwell's got to run down the back straightaway. Holmes on the bottom. Caldwell up top. Checkered in the air. It's going to be Trace Adams and Tanner Holmes going on to the A main as the orange cone gets punted yet again all the way down the front straightaway.
So we did our job there in the heat race. I had a tough one. There were some guys that didn't make the invert tonight that qualified pretty far back, that started behind me. I had good cars in front of me. Luckily though, got a good start to my control. The car in front of me took off, And once I got to second, I was just kind of in protect mode, not really attack, just because, I mean, if there was an opportunity to take the lead, obviously I would jump all over it. But the racetrack, it's difficult to move around. They never really ended up touching it, so it's still very rough. And the bottom has become faster because it's shorter around and it's a little smoother down there. I use the top at times, but it's just hard when everyone has good speed. The track still got grip, so guys are kind of moving all over and you don't just have the run to drive around the outside. Regardless though, it just feels good to transfer directly through the heat race. We've had to start too far back this season, so tonight we're going to be in the redraw and we're going to have a shot to start in the first 3 rows. We'll have a dash and then the A main event later. We got a little bit of track prep going on before they run some more of the lower mains. They just came out and scraped the surface to try to smoothen it, and it already looks a little bit better. At the same time, they kind of packed it down, which hopefully will keep it together, keep it smooth, and then from there, you know, it won't break apart and form the holes that we saw earlier in the night. Now, when they do pack it that tight, it is gonna slick off faster. They're packing the moisture together and it allows the track to maybe seal over. So I don't know, maybe later in the night they're gonna work it, but up next we're gonna have the redraw in just a little bit and then the dash. So tonight I really would like to pull something good. It'd be awesome to be on the front row of the dash and have a chance to control the field being out front. I know we have the speed when we're in clean air, we just haven't got that opportunity yet this season, so that's what we're working towards next.
Next up will be the 18T, Tanner Holmes. He sends his youngster up and will get the 3. So the 1 and the 3 off the board early.
Not a bad dash for us. We started 3rd and finished 3rd. I've talked about it several times, but being in the position that we drew, you're just boxed in and it's difficult to go anywhere. We almost kind of got shuffled back, but I just tried to run a smart 6 laps, be there. A couple guys in front of me made mistakes, and I was able to hold my position. In a perfect world, I would have liked to gain 1 spot and start on the front row. Now, I feel like in a short race like that, you also kind of just have to accept that you can only do what you can do, and you don't want to find yourself being too aggressive, but also not too patient. You kind of have to find that middle ground. But now moving into the A main event, you obviously, you know, are going to have to fight for it. Rolling off as far up front as we are, we got great track position to try to make something happen. I have my teammate Landon in front of me. We got some good cars up front, so hopefully we can kind of just get going, run a solid pace, and then let things play out. Of course, restarts are going to be key, maybe lap traffic. Things are getting really, really dicey, and with the racetrack, you know, starting to slicken off, slow down, it's getting in prime conditions for, you know, us to mix it up and have a great opportunity rolling off from 3rd. So that will be coming up in just a little bit. This is our best opportunity so far all season to try to grab a victory. It's going to be nice being close to the front. If we have an opportunity to get to the lead, we need to make it happen. I just feel like we've been making our car better all night long. We're going to make some final adjustments and just keep on creeping, stay in the hunt. And like I mentioned, if we have a shot to get to the lead, we need to make it happen and try to set the pace from there. So we were fighting really hard there all race to claw towards the front, and unfortunately caught a right rear. That sent us to the back, and with under 10 laps to go, we were not able to make much progress. Well, just got all changed after, I don't know where we finished, honestly. I don't know where we came across. Hard fought A main event. Didn't have things kind of go our way. Starting third wasn't the most ideal. Tried to get a good start, but just felt like I was caught up in everybody else's mess. And I tried to drive really hard to gain the few spots that I did from like 7th or 8th back up into 4th. And then I got wiped out. So that's how my night ended. It didn't help too. I had some front end damage from earlier on in the race, but like I said, just felt like I couldn't get out of the way from some of the slide jobs that were just that were not going to clear early on in the race. I was just trying to get going, and I wish we could have had some green flag laps, but unfortunately the guys in the back, no one was. We had some cautions, and things were just really stacked up on restarts. And you know, like I said, I tried to avoid what I could and put myself in position, but I mean, I just wasn't ever able to get out front. And honestly, I don't know if it would have helped me tonight. Like I said, there was some pretty big sliders up front that were just kind of those situations where you put someone in where it's like they either lift or like they are crashing, and it's unfortunate that's how it was. But anyway, like I said, I was gonna look at a top 5 finish, trying to just be in the hunt like we talked about. It was tough because I had to fight and claw back to get there after missing some carnage, and like I said, got wiped out. Well, frustrating end to our night here at the Red Bluff Outlaws. I think what sucks most about this one is we were in, I thought, good position. We kind of checked all the boxes for the night, so I'm not ever going to be upset about, you know, how our team attacked everything. Like, our effort was there, we executed, just going into from the draw to the A, you know, not being on the front row, and not even necessarily not being on the front row, but being on that inside. 3rd and 5th is not the greatest pill draw. Don't get me wrong, it can be, but like how you guys saw it worked out there in the early laps, I mean, just from positioning, I was in 3rd and I dropped back to 7th. It didn't help that a car spun out in front of us, kind of caused a traffic jam on the bottom, but like I said, you're just boxed in. The inside doesn't get a great start no matter what you do. Anyway, and then that just led to a tough A main event. Clawing close to the front of the field, doing all we could, made good decisions on the choose cone restarts, but the racetrack, and along with all the yellows, I think if we would have had green flag laps, it would have been much better. But the yellows, and we were having really slow starts, and like I said, it was just causing chaos the entire time. I survived it all the way up to the end. I was trying to, like we talked about, put ourselves in position, because that's big at these races. And like I said, I caught a right rear, and that, you know, that obviously ended my run. With how the track is and just the sliders right now, it's unfortunate. I think, you know, it makes it hard to kind of clear a slider, and guys are still just basically, you know, they're just wide open through, and basically, like I told you, lift or die. Those are, you know, you see it happen in midget racing and sometimes in wing sprint cars, but that's what was happening here tonight. It's just like you either lift or you try to get out of the way. You got to do something to not get balled up. But I just wish we could have had a better race in a track where we could have had more 2 lanes and been able to survive, especially with our track position. But ultimately, it just it didn't happen. So I could ramble on all night, but that's dirt racing. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like in situations like this, it's big. You know, you got to remember, all you can focus on is what you can control, and doing all you can to do your job and get the best outcome. And sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, and you just have to accept that and keep moving forward and keep working hard. Proud of Jimmy and Landon and all the guys on the team. We've had to claw. It's a really good word. We've had to really fight to make our cars better lately, and to adapt to the racetrack that we have. And I think that we've came out of the hole that we were in, and we feel comfortable. And now we've been in position where we just got to keep being in position, because eventually it's going to go our way. Eventually we're going to end up on the front stretch, and you know, we just got to avoid some of the stuff being thrown our way. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. It's late on a Sunday to head back home, so we're going to head back that way to Oregon. Another side note, Carly ran this weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about that. She did a great job, got some laps, and first time back in the car after some of her injuries. So it was really fun racing with her, and excited to see her back in the seat more moving forward. All right, guys, deuces.